What is going on, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to use my wife to pick any two bottles in my collection, pour them up blind for me, and we're going to try and guess what they are as well as rank them. Maybe we get some of the best whiskey that I have versus some stuff that I didn't think was so good, but blinds are the best way to figure this out, so let's get into it. And I need a new name for this, so maybe you guys can help me out. Let's try it out.
All right, good luck, Chris.
All right, here we go. I lost my ladder, which I normally use as my seat, but that means she didn't get anything off the top shelf, right? She's like five. There's no way she reached up there. Gives us a couple of hints. I wanted to use clear glasses here because I do want to use everything to my advantage. Color, that matters. But let's get into it. Everybody knows before we get started on all of that, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. I like that one. I'm assuming she didn't mix this up. It doesn't matter if I know which letter is which, but I just want to know so that when I'm talking about it, I know which letter I'm talking about, and you guys know which letter I'm talking about. So this glass over here on my right, your left, is going to be glass A. She hopefully wrote A on here, and then we'll find out what it is. This one, though, proof doesn't seem crazy high. It's my first glass of whiskey for the night. I really like the flavor profile on this. Sweet to start. Let's get some tasting notes. Yeah, super sweet on the front there, a little bit of spice in the middle. It's not like, maybe it's a rye spice, but I could definitely see this being a wheat or two with how soft and how sweet it is. But there's definitely a good, like, I don't think it's like a cinnamon, it's like a baking spices, but almost like a confectionery sugar along with that. This works really well. It's like a cinnamon sugar. I eat cinnamon sugar on my toast in the morning sometimes. That's like kind of the experience that I'm getting here. And again, I'll pan through my entire collection. I have a shelf over here. I have over 250 open bottles of whiskey. I said she can go after anything in my collection. So we've got everything from Blanton's Gold all the way down to like a $40 bottle of Jameson over there. If none of this is Irish whiskey. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of bourbon on bourbon, but bourbon on rye, anything like that. I do have a couple of off kind of brand stuff. So it'll be interesting how this goes and how this progresses. And then I'm also going to do a new thing where my patrons, so my brother-in-law obviously has my phone number. I'm not going to give people my wife's phone number. It just seems kind of weird to me. But my patrons have access to talk to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law obviously has access to talk to my wife. So my patrons will be able to go on, look at my entire inventory, and pick out things that they want to put up against each other, send it to my brother-in-law, he can get it to my wife, and she can pick those. I think that'll be fun. So if you want to, make sure you check out the Patreon page. That link in the description below. Yeah, confectionery sugar, some baking spice in there. Not too old, I don't think, on that. And not too high proof. That might only be like a 90, maybe a 95 proofer, but I think that's even pushing it. Let's get into, again, this is B over here. So my left, your right is going to be glass B. Let's get it. Okay, that one's a little bit different. What is that? I should know this stuff by now, folks. I should know this stuff. The fun thing is I can also turn around and I can look. Now, I've done something similar to this where I know 30 bottles that I'm picking out of, and I'm usually pretty good at figuring out which one's which. But when you're talking 275 bottles, that's where things get a little bit complicated. This is probably, is it double oaked? It feels like a poorly done double oaking process. Is that, it might, see, this is where things get, what if this is a bottle I thought I loved and now I'm saying it's a poorly done double oaking process? Or there's a weird finish on this. Maybe it's like a staves finish or something like that. I don't hate it, but I think this one I like a little bit better. I think this one's a little bit higher proof as well. The fun part about this is I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this one. I don't really have any concept to this video here. Maybe I'm just going to tell you about flavor profiles, which one I like better. Maybe I'll put a price point, like what I would pay for something like this. I think both of these are definitely on the lower tier of what I would pay, like, I don't know, $45 to $50. But this one's throwing me off a little bit with this, this finish on this. I don't hate this one though. Maybe a little bit higher proof. I'm gonna say like this is 90. This is maybe pushing like 100, 103, somewhere around there. The more and more I sip this though, the more and more I'm starting to enjoy this. What is this? And the hardest part about this is I only have so much to work with, which kind of gives it a little bit more of an interesting feel, right? I don't have a lot of time to sit down and deep dive into this. I don't have a lot of whiskey to try. So you're just going off your gut. Hey, you took a sip. What does it taste like? How good is it? Is it something you would pay for? Is it something you would buy again? I think if this is a $50 bottle of whiskey, I would definitely pay for it. I think it's good enough at $50. The question is, what is like the max I would pay? I don't think I would go much above that. I do think I like this one just slightly better than this, and I don't think it's too far off though. I think this one's just as good. It's just different, and that's kind of throwing me for a loop. I wish I could tell you, and maybe now that I'm gonna start doing more blinds like this, I can start to pick up on exactly what these flavor profiles are that I'm getting in these. There's gotta be a finish on this. I just can't imagine what it is. I keep looking behind me for something that like could remind me of this profile. It's just like something's throwing me off on that particular profile. This one seems more traditional when it comes to the bourbon flavor, something that I like a little bit more. It's a little bit lower proof, which isn't something that I'm drinking every day these days. It seems like I'm drinking something that's a little bit higher proof. But if I was looking for a daily sipper, I don't think I would be too mad at this. Again, if it's in that $40 to $45 range. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of a kick. I think that this is going to drink over its proof. So when I say 95 proof, this might be 90 proof. I just think that it's probably drinking over its proof a little bit. Again, I don't think it's anything exceptional when it comes to the Whiskey World collection, but it's definitely putting out a good product. Again, if it's $45 to $45, $40 to $45. Guys, I promise, my first 2 glasses of whiskey for the night. So I will say, I think I'm going to go with a little bit better, but this was a lot closer than I initially thought it was going to be. This one was funky on the front, but definitely has something going for it. I think this is a very good glass of whiskey. I think this is a very good glass of whiskey. Where would I rank them blind on taste? Probably pretty average, right? Like a 7-ish for both of these. 7.1, 7.0. I think it's that close when it comes to taste. I think this one's throwing me off on the funk, but let's find out what it is, and that's what this is all about, the big reveal. Let's get into it, folks. Okay, first of all, Weller Antique 107, one of my favorite Wellers of all time, versus Penelope Architect French Oak Staves, 104 proof. Did I not nail 100 to 103 proof? That was, so first of all, these are 2 bottles that I absolutely love. 45 to 50 bucks for a Weller Antique 107. That's what it's supposed to be, right, folks? Stop paying secondary. We proved it right here. Penelope Architect, I think that's right in there in that 45 to, what's Penelope Architect run? Do I have to go look that up? French Oak Staves, 104 proof though. I will look that up. I don't know. I have 3 Penelope Architects up here. I'm assuming she picked the one up front. Hold on. I'm assuming, we'll double check with her, but I'm assuming she picked this one, which is build number 3. Again, I think these are fantastic glasses of whiskey. I think I'm right in line with what I would pay for them. Weller Antique 107 is a $50 bottle of whiskey, folks. That's it. Stop paying secondary. This was a lot of fun, and actually, with how well this went on the first round, 107 proof, by the way, that's crazy. I had that at what? I said 90, maybe pushing 95 proof. So Weller Antique 107 definitely drinks under its... Guys, I also said that I wouldn't be surprised if this was a wheated whiskey. Yeah, super sweet on the front there, a little bit of spice in the middle. It's not like, maybe it's a rye spice, but I could definitely see this being a wheater too with how soft and how sweet it is. I am too freaking good at this. And then Penelope Architect, I said this was a staves finish. Or there's a weird finish on this. Maybe it's like a staves finish or something like that. You guys saw it in here the whole time and never moved. I'm not cheating, folks. This, I did a lot better than I thought I was going to on this. 104 proof, that I said 100 to 103 proof. Absolutely crazy. I had a lot of fun on this, so I am definitely going to be doing this again. Here's what I'll tell you though, if you have an opportunity to try Penelope Architect, I think it's just as good as Weller Antique 107. These are obviously very different. I told you this had a different profile. It gave me a little bit of funk on the end, but good enough to be good, right? You know what I mean? A 7.1 to a 7. I think these are exactly where they should be, pretty much priced where they should be as well. So again, this was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to be doing more like this. If you like this kind of content, make sure you click that like button down below. And in the meantime, make sure you check us out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Patreon page and our Discord. Again, we're going to involve the patrons in this for sure. Click those links in the description below so you can join the Patreon and our Discord. Come chat with us 24/7. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay doing blinds, legitimate blinds, because this was a lot of fun. Cheers, y'all.